Well, it's Monday. We're back again.
It's Monday, boys and girls, let's party! It's Monday, boys and girls, let's party!
Indeedly doodly it is, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to That Park Place Live, the happiest time we're going to have on a Monday. You know it, we'll show it. We got lots of theme park news in addition to Disney stuff to talk about. Yes, Jimmy Kimmel is blowing up, ladies and gentlemen. The whole situation there. Josh tomorrow with a big decision to make in regards to does he fire? Does he go over Dana Walden and say goodbye to the Kimmelster? We've got Ron Bradley joining us. We got MJ, MagicalyMJ that is. Welcome to you both. And Culture Casino will be joining us a little bit later in the show to talk about this big document dump from Disney, we believe, to Florida politics to reframe how badly they lost in Florida. It's insane. Ron, MJ, how are you today?
Clean.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. It's good.
How many did you take? 2 showers, Ron?
No, I didn't. I only took the one shower, but
One shower. Okay.
Just got
Dr.
out of
Bob
the
recommends.
I'm excited. Today's a great day. My daughter turns 21, and it's a celebration of life.
Hey,
right?
congratulations. What a great time. What a great time. All right, well, folks, let's get to your super chats before we dive in. And I see a conversation out there in the chat about, because we do read these things, about the intros for different shows and you know, the purpose of that. And so I'll just tell you, there are different strategies on YouTube. Some people go straight into the video, and I find that to be advantageous when you've got like a gaming live stream because people just want you to start playing the game. When it comes to shows on YouTube, though, the reason that we do intros like we do, you might think about back in the day and ABC and CBS and their sitcoms, and you all know the theme songs, right? You know the 30 seconds, 60 seconds, and even longer, the longer you go back in time. You all know the reason for those theme songs. The reason that we have 2-minute, 3-minute, 4-minute, 5-minute intros on YouTube, and not all channels do that, but the reason is because notifications for these go out. And as those notifications go out, the notification will only go out once the channel goes live. I'm getting in the weeds here, but I'm explaining it for everybody. Mm-hmm. Wolfle wants to know, am I reading this message? Of course. Listen, I don't have all these monitors in the studio for the fun of it, I'll tell you. So the reason we do the 5-minute or the 4-minute or 3-minute, on That Park Place, it's like 2 minutes, 20 seconds. The reason is because the notifications go out. It takes some time for people to look on their phone and go, oh, it's live. I'm going to get over there. I'm going to join it. And so people start to come in. You got to remember, YouTube is basing how much it wants to promote your channel dependent on how many people join that live stream in the first few minutes. So getting that intro going really does matter. And then like on the Pro channel, the second half of the intro will put comments on the screen. And we try to generate that enthusiasm and excitement. And thus we here are ready to go. All right, let's see what you all know. Snarky Distinct Nugget.
There's one other thing. Sometimes like the first, you click on it and there's a commercial and it's like one of those 2.5 minute long commercials.
Yeah, and it won't let you skip. Yeah, and that's a problem too. Yep. So if we dove straight in the first topic, people would come in and they would say, I didn't get to see the first topic because you can't go back until the live stream's done. People would come in and they would say, I didn't even get to see what the first story was. This is, anyway, you want to try to keep people happy. Snarky Distinct Nugget with his little fudge Dora gifting 1 TPP membership. Thank you. Packy Protons for 2. For the love of God. Fire Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
We're talking about it on the Pro channel, let me tell you. It's that video is going crazy on viewership. Packing Protons for $5 if TPP starts early. Well, Packing, guess what? We did! We started at 30 seconds early, just for you, buddy. And Packing Protons again out there for 10, between logging myself out 6 times, trying to add a profile pic, and failing, and choosing the wrong Mario game. Hopefully I didn't lose that game place, any viewers. Packing, we loved having you. It was a great time. Thank you for playing along with us. And that game place will be live more often now than not, because just about every evening we're going to have a gaming stream going with some of your favorite personalities from the Pro channel, TPP, and beyond. So come play along with us. We'd love to have you join That Game Place at That Game Place. Great channel, and we're having a good time over there. We've got Juliet, mod extraordinaire, dropping 2, says evening. That Park Place in chat. Good evening to you, Juliet. And then Texas 8412, dropping 5 wonderful TPP memberships. Oh my, we don't have the Hank Hill thing here. How about this? How about I just do it and say, Y'all dang it, from the bottom of our hearts, right here on TPP. Thank you. Oh,
every time. It's like flawlessly done.
yeah, I appreciate that. I wish Peggy would say the same sort of things, but she's too busy talking about my narrow urethra. I tell you what.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I don't think she should talk about it, but she does. All right, folks. Some of you out there care about Jimmy Kimmel. Some of you don't. Some of you won't. But I'll tell you this. Josh tomorrow has a big decision to make. Before we even dive into the first topic today, let's just talk about that real quick. Ron, tomorrow inherits the situation Bob invented, and Dana Walden and Bob brought Jimmy Kimmel back. This latest thing where he says that Melania looks like she has that glowing look of a future widow. It's too much. I think Josh tomorrow, he chooses the path for Disney. We read some of the quotes on the Pro Video this morning that Jimmy Kimmel said. They're awful. It talks about Donald Trump and his private parts in just lewd ways. It should not be directed at any president, President Biden, Obama, Bush, nobody. It's just, and what I said was, this is a Disney guy. This is a Disney organization. If we're going to do this, if Josh tomorrow is going to say, yep, keep saying these things, Jimmy, then put it on the construction walls. Take off the stuff where Walt says, if you can dream it, you can build it. Take that off and have Jimmy Kimmel's quotes about Donald Trump's private parts. Have that on there. Do that because they're equally Disney quotes. Ron, your thoughts?
Yeah, I would agree. Look, if you cannot bring yourself to put those quotes on a construction wall in your Disney parks for all to see, then that person should not be saying them. If that person should not be saying them, then they should not be part of the Disney organization. And look, the fact that Jimmy Kimmel is allowed to say what he's allowed to say, there was a time I do wonder because of the Gina Carano lawsuit. I do wonder how that shifted Disney's ability to let people go for what it is they say because of the whole quote freedom of speech thing, whatever. I really don't know. I don't know how that plays out. The thing is, it was always very one-sided when it was happening, to Roseanne Barr, to Gina Carano, to others under the
this
Disney
eclipses
window.
Right, Ron. This eclipses the Roseanne Barr offensiveness to who was the lady's name? Valerie Jarrett.
Yeah.
This eclipses by far anything we've ever seen. This is
Pedro
so
Pascal's
far beyond.
comments were awful at the time that he was making them on Twitter. The same time Gina Carano was, and nothing happened to him because it was all on one side. But now I wonder if their feet are tied to the fire so that they can't. I really do wonder. I really feel like if Josh tomorrow wants to steer the Disney ship to Disney having the reputation that it once had, I would say 15, 20 plus years ago at this point, then yeah, you've got to get rid of Jimmy. You've got to temper what's going on The View, which they didn't say anything about this. That's just unrelated, but still, it's heinous and it's beyond the pale.
MJ, your thoughts on Josh tomorrow having a decision to make here? If he does it, he steps all over Dana Walden, but somebody's got to make the call. Somebody's got to be a grown-up.
Absolutely. All eyes are on him. The spotlight's on Josh. And if Kimmel thinks he was being funny, that's not funny. That's not comedy. That's not okay. Our kids, are watching and listening to these people. This is a bad reflection on Disney. They need to make the right move on this majorly. I mean, we're talking about the president and the first lady. Have some respect. And I was taken back when I saw that over the weekend. I was like, oh my God, you can only say so much, but this crosses the line. There's boundaries, people. Holy moly. I would have,
Yep.
I mean, the look on her face, I would have been embarrassed and I probably would have just stood up and walked off. But
and either way, by the way, it doesn't matter the politics here. Set the partisanship down, folks. When we're talking about attempting or joking about deleting the leader of the free world, is deciding that you will subjugate the decisions of voters to your individual whims. It's terrible. It's awful. Disney should not be involved in any of it. And we got more stuff about that from Disney later in the show, folks. We'll go there, even here on TPP. That's not the typical stuff we do. We cover theme parks, but we're stuck with it now. Snarky Distinct number 5, MJ, you don't look like you have a 21-year-old. Youth is you.
Thank you, Snarky. You always know how to stink it up with your compliments. Thank you. I appreciate that so much.
All right, folks, let's dive in. Before we do, though, I need a palate cleanser. I mean, after Jimmy Kimmel, we got to talk about AI and Disney and crazy stuff they're going to do. But before we do that, I got to get back in the right mindset. This has been so awful. Snarky's trying to do so, though. He's trying to get us back in the right mindset. Snarky, supporter extraordinaire for 5. Pro, thank you for clarification on intros. This channel is my favorite of all, and it's also the shortest. Good for you, sir.
Aww.
This goes all out to all my fat-fingered super chat homies. Thank you, Snark Dog. Stink it up.
All
right, folks, let's put ourselves in a good mood before we dive into the good news. Here we go.
The shadow grows. We must act. The enemy has found the roost. Our arrows are ready, but we need a plan. Then we fly to Mordor. Flock for the planet. By the lines of roost. Take that, you rib. What have they done?
Whisper tales of fire and frost. Shadows rise where the borders are lost. Through the woods where the ancient ones sing, I hear the call of the
in the countryside and you see chicken, try to look a chicken in the eye with great intensity, and the intensity of stupidity that is looking back at you is just amazing.
Well, the theme parks is not going to the cats and the dogs. It's going to AI instead. And the Walt Disney World Resort, as well as Disneyland, getting ready to relieve their CMs, their cast members, of some of their duties. This is the first time we've seen this, folks, where AI is taking over the job of humans at Disney World and Disneyland. Here's the article out of wdwmagic.com. Disney's new AI system could speed up ride loading at Walt Disney World. Here's how it works. Headline's not big enough for what's happening here. I'll explain why. It says Disney has filed a new patent for a system that uses cameras and machine learning, aka artificial intelligence, to magically verify that ride restraints are properly secured before a vehicle dispatches. If deployed at Walt Disney World, the technology could have a significant impact on ride loading times and overall throughput. It also could have an impact on theme parks like Universal Studios and the situation we've seen with rides such as Stardust Racers. We'll talk about why in just a second, but you can see here the patent shows a camera device on both sides of the vehicle. The person rides on in, sits on in the vehicle, and then the cameras are paying attention. They've got sensor devices attached to the ride, and the whole goal here is to remove the cast members, we suspect, to remove the cast members' need to go by and tug on those restraints and check the restraints. It's also, I believe, to remove the liability from cast members and to make this an automated process where guests are the ones who decide if they're going to ride. No guesswork anymore from the employees. It says published on April 23rd, 2026, U.S. Patent Application, U.S. 2026-01093168 describes.
Wow.
I know, thank you. A system and method for verifying proper usage of passenger restraints. The system uses video cameras combined with machine learning models, AI, to analyze whether a passenger restraint, such as a seatbelt, lap bar, or over-the-shoulder restraint, is correctly securing a guest before the ride departs. This system is going to be able to use or detect using AI the passenger's body position and size, the type of restraint being used, whether the restraint is correctly securing the passenger. All right, let's talk about it. MJ, we've seen some issues with theme parks in terms of checking this. There's also the issue of, with lots of ladies and a male cast member comes by, got to be extra careful when you're trying to, make sure that you're tugging on the restraint and all that. You never want to brush up in any kind of way, in the wrong way. So I can see why Disney would want to do this, but the headlines are really not adequate for what we're seeing here. This is the first time that I know of that artificial intelligence will be replacing one of the major cast member roles at the parks if this happens. What do you think about MJ?
Oh, well, we're living in that world, that time. Everything is AI driven. And the more they can have AI or robots or whatever doing the job of a human to save money, they are going in that route, in that direction, which that's a whole nother conversation. But I still think traditionally, although dinosaur is now gone, but when we went on dinosaur for the last time, I'm using that example because when you put on the belt, you have to physically pull the yellow part, and the cast member is like, okay, pull it, and you have to do it in front of a human. So how would AI detect if you're tied in properly or strapped in or hoisted down or whatever you're using, a harness? I don't know, whatever kind of ride vehicle restraint system they're using, but I can't imagine how a system, like AI or any kind of motion detection can actually make sure and ensure you're tied in. You're not going to fly out of your ride vehicle during the motion, right? I don't see how that will work.
I think there's going to be a lot of cameras. I think they're going to do this just like with a vehicle, like a car that does all those checks and gives you the warnings if you're not buckled in the way you should be. So, Ron, your thoughts on this one? This is the first time we've ever seen AI take over. I have to say I'm probably not in favor of this one, simply because I do want the physical tug, the physical touch of a cast member checking the restraints. This matters so much, and yet I understand why the theme parks want out of the liability of it all. You've got the issue of guys trying to be up in, people's grills, but you also have the issue of what about, when somebody who is disabled wants to ride, and now we've got a human making a decision about whether or not you get on the ride. You get into sticky situations that we've seen before. Your thoughts on it, Ron?
I think it's all going to be fine until the machines become sentient and decide. For 10 years, wow, our AI systems have worked perfectly. There's not been a single guest hurt, and then the machines decide all at once.
Skynet releases the restraints.
Oh my God.
All the roller coasters go berserk.
Imagine.
No, it's look, it's I have to suspect that if even once something like this would be implemented, they're going to have a cast member present, or more than one cast member present to do it. It's like that. It's like when you check out, it's like when you check yourself out at the, the Walmart, and you use the machine yourself. There's still employees watching you do all that and making sure you don't steal or whatever. But I think there's got to be somebody that's going to be watching over it. So I would hope that this would be implemented as greater security. It might eliminate a number of cast members, like maybe they won't need as many. That I look, I'll be honest with you, most of the time having to pull on the stupid yellow thing bothers me, and it's for like every ride, right? It's for like Soarin' and Test Track, and just thinking of all the different rides you have to pull on the yellow tag for.
Mm-hmm.
It would be it would be nice to not have to do that, and it would be nice if the load and unload time were quicker on a lot of these things. So I don't really, this is very difficult for me to say exactly how I feel about it until I kind of see how they plan on implementing it. Because I like so many of the things that AI can do. In my own neighborhood, and I'm not sure how much AI is involved in this and how much just other technology is, but those Waymo vehicles, the vehicles that are operated without a driver, I was looking the other day at the map, and the area that they serve literally cuts off one street before where I live. So I can't get in one, but it's in the area that I'm driving around. And now I see at least one every single time I run errands. And oftentimes I'll see 2 or 3 or 4. So they're getting out there a lot more. And that's literally a car on the road without a driver. So, the things that.
So let's talk about that, Ron. Let's talk about what other positions might be cut. And I'm not advocating for this in the least. But let's talk about if because this is not being covered correctly. And I hate to say that. I'm not trying to be mean to anybody who's doing the coverage. If you just cover it from the standpoint of, okay, here's a new system for checking guests and their restraints. That's not the story. The story here is this is the first time we've seen Disney implement AI overtly at the parks to cut out something that cast members were doing. So then what does my mind go to? If this works, if nobody does any pushback, and I'm not recommending one way or the other, what are the next jobs that cast members might lose? And I think instantly, just like you're talking about Waymo, I think the trams. Why in the world would you have both people running the trams if the driver for the tram can be completely automated? And then I think about other stuff too, right? So I can go through the list, but Ron, what do you think about some of these other positions that I think could be cut by AI and may be cut by AI?
They've done it in the past. When you think about it, what used to happen on the tram, on the train, on a lot of those things before, they used to have a live cast member spieling that script.
Right, Living with the Land had that. Yep.
Right. And they eliminated all of those as soon as they realized, hey, a recording will do the same job just fine. So yeah, it's in the best interest of the company to save money, and employees have the highest cost, which I got to say, it really doesn't have anything to do with this, but couldn't we get AI to replace Jimmy Kimmel?
AI would be funnier. MJ, one of the things that I don't want to see servers lose their jobs. I don't want to see, as much as I think Optimus is cool, I don't want to see little robots or automated trays that come out to your table and you just pick it up. And I've seen this before. This is not that would not be amazing to me because there's a sushi restaurant near where I live, and it has robotic servers, and they come out with a tray, and you pick up the tray off the thing, and the robot goes off. So this is happening. It's been happening. I hope though that Disney will remember that there is. Well, the magic comes from the cast members, and also some of the worst experiences can come from a cast member, but that's few and far between these days. It was worse a couple of years ago, but the magic really does come from the cast, MJ.
Absolutely. And, I look at it differently from a different perspective. So most of you guys can just get in a ride vehicle in and out right freely. But like you mentioned something pro that struck me. I was like, you know what? It does play a big factor when you're dealing with people that have mobility issues and they're trying to board these ride vehicles. It will hold up the line a lot longer. For example, Nemo, if you're in a wheelchair and you cannot get out of your wheelchair, they will load you into one of those ride vehicles with your chair, but it puts the whole ride at a stop. And I want to remind people to always keep that in mind when they're going to theme parks. Try to be patient, because even though the ride is stopped, it's not always technical issues or, cast members giving someone a hard time or people giving a hard time. It's someone with a mobility issue getting loaded into a ride vehicle so they can have a fun time just like you are. So I just wanted to bring that up. But I really am curious about the future in ride vehicles for people with disabilities and people without disabilities. How are they going to ensure that we will be safe and enjoy the ride while we're visiting at the theme park, no matter which one it is?
That's right. And safety comes first. So if this helps improve safety, I'm all for that. I just hope Disney uses it in the right way. Technology is great. It can also be used to do things that we're not elated about. So Disney, get it right, and we'll support you. We'll celebrate you. But this is momentous. It is historic. Take note of it, folks. Don't fall for the headlines that simply tell you it's some sort of new restraining order. This is the first time we've ever seen the Disney parks bring in the ability to use AI. Ron, what do you have that smile about? What did I say, Ron?
You said a restraining order.
Well,
did he say restraining order?
Listen, there may be a restraining order, but only for fellows who are hiding out in the Columbia Harbor House restrooms.
Oh my goodness.
Today is a sad day, The Disney stock it has dropped.
Oh no, really?
Yes, it's true. A very sad day.
That's terrible.
Our dear Jefe, Mexican Iron Man, has lost billions and Bob is gone. Bob is on the run.
What will happen, Abuelo?
For Bob's sake, I hope Mike never finds me.
He's a man, he's a man, he's a Mike of a man. Everyone be a fan of Mexican Iron Man.
All right, folks, let's get to the super chat. Snarky Distinct Nugget out there for 5. Skynet to rule us all. Oh, boy. Does Disney own that yet? They don't own Terminator yet. They own Aliens. Okay. Aliens. We've got Snarky again with his little fudge door out there for 5. Like everything else in safety, the rules and regulations will be written in blood. Metaphorically. Allegedly. Thank you, Snarky. We appreciate you. What if I told you we got another story about AI, and then we're going to dive into this big document dump that is absolutely just sending Disney on a tilt-a-whirl of unmagic. One more AI story. Can we do that? MJ, are you up for one more AI story about Disney?
I got my coffee ready. I'm hanging out with you guys. It's all good.
Ron, clear for liftoff?
I'll be back.
Restraining orders removed?
Yeah, restraining orders.
I missed that Terminator show, man. Darn
Yeah, you know, that was so good back then.
it was
Show me your
amazing.
leadership abilities.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear about that? Bill Hader said that he was working with Arnold. First time he ever worked with him, and Arnold Schwarzenegger thought that Bill Hader, SNL guy, thought that he was an intern or something. Didn't realize he was like his co-star. And so Arnold comes up to him and says, "Where are my hairdressers? Where's my makeup people?" And Bill Hader was like, I don't know. They're over here somewhere. I'm sure we'll find them. And then Arnold's like, You go find them for me. Show me your leadership qualities. Like he's an intern who's going to. So Bill, his co-star, is like, yeah, I think they're right over here, Mr. Schwarzenegger.
Poor guy.
Actually, I'm in the movie with you. Snarky for 5. Go for 0 is an aircraft manufacturer thing. Impossible goal, but a strive. Go for 0, folks. Don't get injured today. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get underway with the next big story. Let's dive in. It's breaking news for you right now. And coming to you from The Hill, typically a political website, says Disneyland guests can opt out of facial recognition at park entrances. Now, what you need to know is that Disney and Disneyland, they are rolling out a facial recognition system that already exists at Universal Studios Epic Universe. This one is different. It's not made by the same people, we don't believe. But the idea is from now on, when you go inside Disneyland, they know who you are. They track your face. They use your face to give you things that you want and get you into certain things. Magic bands? No more. You've got a magic face after all. But, says author Iman Palm, if you want to opt out, you can at the House of Mouse. Let's find out how you do it. Here we go. According to a poll conducted by Nexstar's KTLA, 46% of Californians voted Disneyland and Anaheim the top theme park in the state. Let's find out how they feel once they find out about their face. Guests visiting a Disneyland resort in recent months may have noticed new facial recognition technology at the entrance, though they do not have to use the system if they choose not to, according to the company guidelines. Disney says the technology is designed to streamline guest entry. The system captures an image, that's an image, of their face and compares it to the image, that's also an image, taken when the ticket or pass was first used. Both photos are converted into numerical values to verify a match. The company says those values are deleted within 30 days unless they must be retained for legal or fraud prevention purposes. Traditional entrance lanes at Disneyland and Disney California Adventure remain available. Guests who opt out of using the new tech can enter through the park's main entrances along the esplanade, where cast members manually validate tickets according to the website. Disney notes that images may still be taken in these lanes, but biometric processing will not occur. The news comes as the general public remains concerned about mass surveillance and tracking in public spaces. The resort also updated its front entry gates to improve accessibility. All gates are now ADA compliant, allowing guests using wheelchairs, ECVs, and strollers to pass through more easily. The redesigned gates open automatically after a ticket is scanned, And a photo is taken, and they include access points for Magic Band Plus tapping. Cast members will continue to staff the entrances to validate tickets and assist guests. All right, now the big deal here is we expect this to be coming to Disney World as well very soon. There's no reason for Disney to invest in this and not bring it to all of their theme parks they're allowed to do so in. MJ, what do you think about this idea now that the theme parks are largely moving, and Epic Universe already does this, moving to facial recognition technology? On the one hand, it's pretty darn convenient to just walk up to an attraction and you don't have to get your ticket out. You don't have to have a Magic Band. They just know. And they're like, yep, you have a fast pass, you have a lightning lane, you have a whatever it is to skip on ahead. That's very nice. I can see this being very handy with disability accessibility and all that kind of thing. MJ, there are concerns about the theme parks having your face, and there are concerns that, yeah, they might delete it after 30 days, but do they share it with anybody else? Do they share your image, your biometrics? Do they share your preferences when you're inside the parks to advertisers? We don't know that part. So what do you think, MJ, when it comes to this very powerful technology?
Well, I feel like if everyone's concerned about their privacy once they enter one of these resorts, Walt Disney World Resort, Disneyland Resort, you have to read the privacy policy. It's on their website and they update it every so often, right? So read that thoroughly if it bothers you that much. Second, yeah, they have the biometrics already with your fingerprint, and that's kind of gross. I always have to put like a ton of hand sanitizer for me and my family. Every time we go up to the thing, we scan in either card or Magic Band, and then you put your finger and then you wait for it to turn green and then you're good to go. I think it's a lot more hygienic just walking up, facial recognition, boom, you're in. A lot of people do it at Universal. I haven't heard one complaint about it. So I think it's great. I feel like we're moving in the right direction as far as that. Remember, folks, there's cameras all over the resorts. Once you're in the park, you're still captured on camera. They're watching you. They're following every move you make. They know what you're ordering at the mobile order and
some mouse is watching me.
Pretty much, yeah. So it's happening. There's cameras everywhere throughout the property. It's not that big of a deal, but yeah, I would highly recommend going through the privacy policy. If you don't agree with it, then maybe this is just probably not a place for you to go to.
Ron, you've been a cast member. You've worked for Disney. You've worked for practically every theme park there is in the nation. Every time I ask you, but Ron, your thoughts on whether or not they provide these biometrics or any of this kind of stuff to third parties? Do you know of anything like that? Is that happening behind the scenes, or do you think Disney is rather clean in that regard?
Actually, I don't even think they're allowed to internally, because when, as a cast member, when I was doing a lot of people may not realize this, cast members have to do computer training no matter what role you are, as much as once a month, definitely every 3 months.
Fax machines, floppy drives, a whole bit, huh?
So it's because and one of the trainings was always the proprietary information that Disney has, and one of them was always, of course, for me, cash handling, because I did that. So all the training on that, it talks about, hey, all this information, any information that you have about any guest stays proprietary within Disney until they have to erase it. So I don't think that they are selling anything to third-party organizations. I will say that both SeaWorld and Universal use this technology. The last time when I went into Volcano Bay, it's even on my vlog, because I said, I got to stop to pull out my pass. And then I get up there and I'm like, they don't need the pass. They just like scan my face and you're welcome in, because they already have that in their system. So it's one of those things where you are entering private property. This is not a public space, no matter how big it is. So they have, they basically can do what they want with their private property. Of course, Disney's giving you the opportunity to opt out of it, which I think is fine as well. And look, like MJ said, there's like literally thousands of cameras everywhere. When you are on Disney property, there's cameras, there's security guards, there are undercover security guards. You're constantly being watched. And so for me, I'm like, it's just the world we live in now, and I deal with it because I feel like, look, if I'm not going to do anything wrong, I'm probably fine, and maybe I mean, my guess is that it probably helps a lot with merchandise control and all that kind of stuff.
Remember the guy that was hiding, and then they found him. There you go. You can't hide in Disney.
And I think this would be more palatable to people if you said, you know what, we're going to use this face recognition, and we're going to do a free, fast pass or two. Call it lightning lane. I don't care, but whatever they want to do. I think it would be handy dandy if they said, you know what, just show up. You got 2 of them a day. They're free again. We're going back to that. And we don't need a paper. We don't need a slip. We don't need the fast pass paper that you used to get. Just walk up. We'll use your face. We'll know you've had one today. And then if you made that announcement along with this, I don't think you'd have any arguments from just about anybody. I think everyone would say, yeah, that's a great idea. I want to walk up and you just, instantly give me a thumbs up and be on your way, sir. Be on your way, ma'am. No hassle, no nothing. Just you're clear to go. That would be great. Okay, so there is one other area, and we need to be careful when we talk about this. There are those who choose not to show their face. And so that can be with a medical mask, can be with religious attire, but there are people who do not show their faces. And there is the claim that if Disney offers anything related with your face, or if Universal does, that's requires your face, that could be a form of discrimination. What do you guys think about that argument? Does it hold any water?
It's difficult in one sense, in the fact that facial recognition now, if your eyes are showing, it can recognize your entire face. If
your eyes have to get you have to have a really close up picture of the eyes though. But yes, you are right.
But yeah, I mean, facial recognition can do, like, it's almost scary though what it can do. I will say, if you constantly perhaps are covering your face with a cup and the cup changes, what that cup looks like, whether it has Pro Show on it or something else, you could totally blow the facial recognition out of the water right there.
Did you know I had to order the cup? So we're getting ready for me to have the studio with the camera and all that, because in the age of AI, since we're talking about AI, in the age of AI, having a still image is not going to do it anymore. So I've got to be on camera. And so the other day we actually ordered the Pro Show cup. Yeah, I see that. Nice. Well played, Ron. That's very clever. You look like Wilson. Yeah. But we had to order a very large mug because I was thinking, man, if I'm actually going to drink from the mug, which I will, and we're going to do a special thing once I'm on camera, a new thing we're all going to do together. I thought, I need like a 20-ounce cup. I need a big cup for all the coffee I want to drink. I don't want to sit there with a little teeny thimble. But yeah, there are people who don't want to show their face, and they don't want Disney to have that. And so the argument becomes, okay, at what point does it become discriminatory if Disney says, no, we got to have your facial recognition, or Universal? So it's just something to think about. That's legal theory for the lawyers to debate, and maybe one day we'll have Andrew from Legal Mindset on to talk about it. But for now, we'll leave it there.
You might be able to go to the side and privately enter somewhere if you have a religious attire covering yourself. I don't know if they can do that. A cast member,
I wouldn't recommend having a side entrance for different demographic groups. That might not be a great visual.
Well, not necessarily just for them, but you could tell them I need accommodations. I can't show my face in public. Or
I'm talking about like for that one laundromat.
Oh boy! Oh boy! Valiant renegade in his laundromats, I tell you. That's where we'll leave it, folks. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. Wouldn't you know it? We got people out there and they have things to say, including Packing Protons, a guy that we're happy every time he comes our way for $5. AI topic. Can you sue an AI agent if something goes wrong? Well, welcome to the gray area of nobody knows what the heck to say about this one. All I can tell you is that, according to the U.S. Supreme Court, an AI agent has no moral agency and is not itself an entity that could be sued. It does not establish itself as a corporation, and it does not establish itself as a legal person. Therefore, an AI agent acts on the behalf as a tool for the corporation or for the person. The question then becomes, if the AI agent is deployed by a person and thereby does something that it should not, acts outside of legalities, is it the person's fault who directed it to do so, or is it the corporation that created the agent's fault, or is it an amalgamation somewhere in between or covering both? We don't know because those lawsuits have not happened and it's not made its way up. But it's a very interesting thing to think about, especially after there was the study, and it's a flawed study. Everybody should know that. It was a flawed study. It was made to make headlines. But there was a study where they managed to get Anthropic agents to blackmail people. Now, it took them 200 prompts of that. It was AI experts trying to get it to do the wrong thing. So in the real world, it wouldn't happen. But, it's something to think about, and it could happen one day, especially if the agent is confused about what the law is on something.
I'm reminded instantaneously of that line from Back to the Future 2, where the law moves much faster now that we've eliminated all lawyers. And if all lawyers became AI, maybe that would be the same type of thing. And then, wow, what happens then?
That's right. Amazing how it works. Amazing. All right, moving right along. We got Snarky and his Fudgedora for 20. Bante, Snarky. Man, keeping us afloat here. Way to go, Snarky. We appreciate you. It says there are a fair amount of benefits to our losses in privacy, for our English viewers, privacy, with advancing tech. I would love to go back to no strings attached. My childhood, it's impossible now. Things are built around these technologies. So the thing is, there are pros and cons to every technology that comes along. Fire is used to cook your food. Fire is used to burn down your villages. If you're a longtime viewer, you've heard me say that a bunch of times. But it's the best indication that I can give you, right? The automobile takes you from here to there, but it also squishes a lot of bugs, kills a lot of deer, and there are plenty of automobile accidents that end the lives of innocent people. So, on the whole, is the car a good thing? Sure. Are there awful things that have happened because of it? You bet. And the same thing is true with every kind of tech. When it comes to technology of today, yeah, I'm mostly in favor of some of the things that we're seeing with AI and what it's doing at places like the parks. At the same time, I'm deeply disturbed if jobs are cut and losses in meaning take throughout society. And by the way, I don't like the idea that I have nothing physical to own and the company can take away the stuff that I've downloaded on my phone or console or whatever, my games. They can just take it away at a moment's notice or remove my ability to play it. I don't like that. I miss the days of cartridges and discs. So there are wins and misses when it comes to all of this. Panel, your thoughts?
Yeah. Absolutely. I miss my childhood days as well, Snarky. Everything was so cool. We were just talking about it in the car the other day with the kids. We were like, when we played Nintendo and we were sitting on the floor, you guys have these fancy gaming chairs and all this equipment and all this crap. We were just sitting on the floor, probably having a snack on old dirty carpet.
Back in my day, we had an open septic tank. We called it a swimming pool.
Just reminiscing the old times, my gosh.
Back in my day,
old movie theater.
Back in my day, my dad gave me 2 cans and told me it was a telephone. I said, "Where's the string?" And he said, "Shut up. Don't ask me for the fancy things in life. Deal with it."
The plastic on the couch. No.
Yeah. Builds character. Douglas, not for 5. Would not facial recognition think the mug was an irregular beard? It could. That would be a strange looking growth, though. If it's if I'm growing a cup out of my hair follicles on my face, that would.
The real life fake coffee cup.
That's right. Wolfle McGruffle for $5.49. How many super chat cereal box tops do we have to send in to get our own Pro Show mug? That's a great question. I think we'll make the Pro Show mug available soon. We've got to announce when it is, that I'll be on camera and face reveal and all that, and then there'll be more stuff to go along with that, like the mug. And I'll tell you, the studio is coming along, and we're having a lot of fun getting everything set up. We will not, however, if you're used to seeing Pro with the little aquarium, that is going to have to go. And the reason is we've practiced with this. There is no way to get an aquarium that close to a microphone without noise coming in. And it is far superior that we have superior audio than that we make sure we have an aquarium right next to me. So, folks, that will be the one thing that will not be accurate when we switch to the real studio. We just can't do an aquarium. You either get aquarium sounds or you get filter sounds, or you get a green aquarium and suddenly Nemo's trying to escape from Dara. So
just use AI.
Pro
That's
underwater.
We'll build a real studio, get a real tank with real, with no water, and then we'll AI in after all that. And then when YouTube takes us down and we're like, well, we built an entire studio. We spent lots of money on that. What is it that took you down? They said we were AI because we had an AI fish in the tank. Hey, that'd be as real as Big Blue World Fish on the Finding Nemo ride at Epcot, right? Those are just projection fishes.
Big Blue. I love that song. That's a good song.
It is a good song.
Although my favorite is "Go with the Flow." My God, when I hear it, I can't get it out of my head for like.
Oh, I
days.
know, right?
Go with the flow is awesome.
You
How does go with the flow?
And you're still thinking about it.
Just go with the flow.
Oh, I remember that one. Yeah.
Finding Nemo. Yeah,
the musical. All right, we got Freedom Seeker out there. Remember for 2 months. Pro, you should do the Lego aquarium. They are cool. Am I going to put Lego fish in it?
Oh, how about a terrarium with a turtle?
We could do a terrarium. I hadn't thought about that.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
Gosh, I had not thought about that. We could do a terrarium.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. We could do a terrarium, and I can't imagine what would make enough noise. Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
The occasional knock on the glass, but that's not bad. They're so cute.
I'll just turn to him and say, "Shut up, Leonardo! Shut up, you!"
Yeah. Oh, it's got to be Mikey.
We got Snark out there for 5. A framed picture on the wall that matches the fish tank pictured in the avatar. We could. That'd be a lot of fun. The picture you see above the fish tank with the guy, and it's a stained glass representation. That's actually going to be in the studio. The neon sign, all the stuff. So we're working on it, folks. We are working on it for you. And Bruce Newhouse for $199. Will fake backgrounds all need to go? I don't think so. I think as long as you've got your face, you'll be okay. But if I think it's funny if we did all this work just to AI and fish into a fake tank. It'd be like, really, you did all that work to create. Okay. All right, folks, let's dive into the next topic. We've got to talk about Disney World becoming very, very expensive. We're waiting on Culture Casino to join us before we talk about the document dump. I know he's going to have a lot to say about what's gone down with this release and how Disney is trying to spin it, pretending like they won it against Florida. So we'll do one more story before we get there, and then we'll get ready for Culture Casino. Let's see, it's showing me. Yep, we're good to go. Ladies and gentlemen, let's dive in. It's yet again more fun, more news on the way.
It's showtime! Straight from the heart of the park.
All right, out of 1945. Well, that's an interesting name for a website. 1945. Steven Silver is the author here. A bottle of water is $4.25. Walt Disney World might be the most expensive on Earth. This is the kind of stuff that the Walt Disney Company does not enjoy, but they've employed these crazy prices. And remember, folks, as we get in this article, we'll show it again. Bottle of water, $4.25. The reason we show it to you is because, what have they said? It's too dang hot in Disney, right? It's too dang hot in Florida. That's why people are not showing up all of a sudden for the summer vacays, even though it's always been that hot. And at the same time, they're charging a crazy amount of money just for you to hydrate. Quote, water is $4.50 for a basic Dasani. Smart water is $6.25. Food is almost unaffordable, and people bring their own food now. Soon, we might as well call Walt Disney World here in Florida the most expensive place on Earth. That's what the editor-in-chief, Harry J. Cassianis, an avid Disney fan, told me just recently when it came to the most magical place on Earth. Clearly, he isn't wrong. Disney has announced its ticket price calendar for 2027, and it is raising prices on some tickets, including peak days, according to the new ticket pricing calendar. Pricing has been announced through October 2027, with pricing for November, December next year yet to be revealed. Why would they not reveal it yet? Ladies and gentlemen, you know the deal. Because they're going to go even more expensive, so they're just waiting. The ticket pricing scheme at Walt Disney World is dynamic and complex, but as The Street reported, tickets on some dates will cost more than they did previously, while base-level ticket prices remain unchanged. And you all know they do that for 2 days out of the entire year. Did you know that? You knew that. We know that. 2 days out of the year. That's the base-level ticket prices. So, of course, they remain unchanged. Peak day pricing has quietly climbed, with the most popular dates now reaching up to $219 per day. You add on taxes, you're easily over $250, and that brings you, for a family of 4, over $1,000. No food, no specials, no perks, no nothing. That's just to get in the park. $1,000 per day on the peak days, right? The days that you can go, by the way. That's what peak days are. This days around holidays when families are off so they can go. You know that? Yeah. $1,000 for a family of 4. It's a 10% increase from the previous peak seen in 2025. So let's talk about it. Ron, MJ, whoever wants to go first, have at it. But we're now over the mark for the very first time. It is more than $1,000 for a family of 4 to visit Disney World on many days. Sorry, not the 2 base level days that we pretend with, but many of these days, now over $1,000. Your thoughts?
Never buy water. Never buy bottled water inside Disney World, especially in the park or whatever. It's just, I mean, although I will say this, the soda pops are about the same. They're like $5 or whatever. I mean, there's a lot of things that are far more expensive. And the funny thing is, it's the things that you find that are typically cheaper elsewhere, like bottles of water, like soda pop. Those things might be less expensive, but those are the things that they really get you on because they can mark them up. Because if people are going to buy them, they're going to buy them. A lot of people are not buying water because they know that if you go up to any one of the quick service kiosks, they typically already have water set out and available for you in cups like ice water, but some people don't trust that or whatever. And I get that. I bring my own bottled water into the parks, which you can do.
That's a really, really good tip, Ron. If people are going to go and spend all this money, there's no need to spend more. Bring your own bottled water in. It's fine.
And there are there are certain snacks in the park that are a good value as well. So I want to be fair. Not the ticket prices, but ticket prices are outrageous. But snacks in the park, for example, if you go to get a Dole Whip, the Dole Whip pineapple upside down cake, I think is like $6 or something. It's not super out of the realm, boundaries of expense. I mean, they're going to be more expensive than other places for sure. These are theme parks, and they are theme park prices. The thing is, you have to know before you go. You're either going, if you're going on a vacation, a theme park vacation, it is an expensive vacation. They're going to set all these prices up. The highest prices that they can set up, $219 per ticket per person per day. They do not. The one thing I don't like about Disney is that they don't have. They cut the child price off at age 9, which I think is ridiculous. I think that the child price.
Right, you're an adult at 10 now.
Yeah,
Right.
that's ridiculous. I've always thought that was ridiculous, and because of that, tons and tons of adults order the kids meal and eat it, and they don't care because they know they do it. It's one of those weird things. It's kind of always semi bothering me, but you deal with it, right? But yeah, I mean, you got to know before you go. You're planning this trip. Typically, a week for 4 people at a Walt Disney World theme park vacation when you're staying on property is not going to cost you any less than 10 grand. That's just where we are at today. I mean, that's if you're doing a fairly inexpensive type of vacation. The prices have gotten, I think, incredibly out of control. And
so let's talk about how we arrived there, Ron. So we're already saying, as a baseline, if you go on the days when most people can go, because it's a holiday, that's what we call the peak days, right? We're already saying that it's $1,000 per day for a family of 4, taxes included. All right. Now, once you're in there, you got to buy food and drink, and it's really hard unless you bring your stuff in, which you can. It's going to slow you down in security, but unless you do so, I mean, $50 for kids and $100 for adults for food and beverage for the day, and that's not. I mean, like a really nice meal is going to send you over the top of that. So, but I'm just saying, like, you stop at Columbia Harbor House, you're spending $20 a person. And if you're thirsty or you're hot or you need an ice cream or whatever, that's going to be expensive too. And if you do 3 of those Columbia Harbor Houses that day, you're at $60 there. And you say, are you going to spend $40 in sodas and snacks to try to stay hydrated and all that? Yeah, you probably are. So unless you bring your food in, I think $100 per day is about probably where you're going to be without even going crazy.
Per person.
Right, per person. So you're talking about then, okay, we have family of 4. It was $1,000 to get in the door. It's $400 just to keep us going. Okay, are you going to spend lightning lane money because everybody else is buying a lightning lane? Okay, so that's going to be another $100 per person. Like, this is how we get there. And then we're not even discussing transportation. We're not even talking about hotels.
Right.
MJ, unless you're a local, in which case the price drops to the floor because they're trying to pad out the entire park with locals. MJ, unless you're a local, how are middle-class families supposed to afford this anymore?
You know, there's such a need for this information, all these tips and tricks, because if you can save money, just like our friend Ron was saying, go to the quick service stops. There is ice water at many of those locations. For example, Magic Kingdom, Cosmic Rays, you can get free ice water in there. So while you guys were talking, I was looking at the map, because you can go on the map on your experience app if you choose to. If not, the paper one does have it, folks. But the mobile map is showing me 3 refillable water stations at the Magic Kingdom, only 3 guys. And then you have 5 at Animal Kingdom, 7 at Hollywood Studios, and another 7 at Epcot. So you can go on Amazon or whatever, eBay, get yourself a refillable one with it. They even have ones with filters, and you can just, there's water fountains everywhere. Just do that, put it in your backpack. They cannot stop you in the entrance for bringing that in. You have the right to bring in your own stuff. And if they do, I have dietary needs, I need my own water bottle. They've never stopped myself or my family. Ron, you did the same thing. There's snacks. They have carrot sticks and apples. They have fruit cups. They have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. There's a lot of little snacks that you can get for like $3, $4, $5, $6. You just have to do your research ahead of time. But yeah, there's a dire need for helping people get the most bang for their buck. And if that doesn't work, you can absolutely bring a little lunchbox and put your snacks, as long as it's not anything. Ron, help me out. I think it has to be something like sandwiches, chips, apples, stuff like that, right?
I do know this. I've seen a ton more people bring food into the parks and have like in-park picnics from their stuff at home than I have in the past. And here's the issue for me. It's not even about whether you want to save money or not. It's about feeling like you shouldn't have to, because for me, eating the park food is a huge part of the experience when I'm going.
It is.
If especially if I'm traveling from another state, like I almost feel bad for people when I see they're on such a budget that just to get into these parks, their entire family has to start splitting bologna sandwiches once they're inside, because the food is a huge part. Disney has gone out of their way to create all kinds of wonderful food concoctions that are probably not the best thing for you health-wise, but they're certainly good and delicious to eat. And so it is part of the expense planning for one of these vacations. And I think it stinks if you're scraping by, you're a family, you really want to take your kids to Walt Disney World. I mean, it's Disney World. That's the dream vacation. It's been set up for years. It's, with their reputation over the last 5-10 years, maybe I don't think it's the dream vacation anymore, but there's still a lot of people who have that in their head, and they scrimp, they save, they get everything together. And finally, they get to go inside and see the Magic Kingdom, and they're all eating bologna sandwiches instead of Dole Whip. And that's that just stinks. And it shouldn't have to be that way.
Ron, to your point, I grew up in a family where we went to Disney World all the time, right? I never, ever got popcorn, cotton candy. I never had a Mickey ice cream bar until I became an adult and I could pay for my own stuff with my family. But I still have the most beautiful, I'm getting to a point, I promise. The most beautiful memory was being in the parks with my parents, getting on the rides with them, the pictures, looking back at all the Polaroid and all the pictures we took. I did not think about what food I was eating. We're living in a different era now. Now it's all about what can I eat in the park and take a picture of and put it on Instagram.
That's how it was for me with Six Flags. And I think if it's more of your local park, it's a different type of situation than it is when it is a dream vacation and the food is part of the vacation experience. And it's because you have a local vacation experience and you have a dream destination vacation experience. And those can be very different kind of situations.
Social media has really pushed that, though, in my opinion. Social media has made it to a point where if it's not luxurious and if you're not sitting down having that amazing drink that's going viral, you're not experiencing it. That's not what it's about. being in these parks is about being with your loved ones, your friends, your family, your children, everyone who means a lot to you, your best friend. And let's keep that momentum. Let's stay on those vibes. We're going to go have a great time. And it's not about what we can afford, what we can drink, what we can eat. Let's bring that back. I say we bring that back and scratch the rest. But if you guys are on a crunch and you have kids and you want to, save money, they do have the free kids dining plan this whole summer until the 8th of September. Just saying.
Yep. And the thing is about that, about making memories, folks, there's not that many people who want to go to Disney World or Epic Universe or Dollywood or Busch Gardens or any of the places, right? By themselves. There's not many people who say, yeah, I want to go solo, because being solo, you just watch all the other families having a good time. It turns out that the reason to go to these things is to make memories. These are giant facilitators of relationship building with your kids, with your parents, with your aunts, with your cousins, whoever you're going with, your bestie. That's what these things are here for. They're there for you to have a good time with others and to build relationships up. One more thing I'll tell you that will grind your gears, make your blood boil. Did you guys know that Starbucks, when it came into Disney World, Starbucks has a policy of offering free water, right? Cup of free water, all the way up to a venti. That's 20 ounces free filtered water. Mm-hmm. Did you know they had to stop doing that at the Disney parks? Now, I don't know if they brought them back now, but Disney made them put a stop to it because it was causing people to go there for the water versus spending all the money Disney wanted them spending on other beverages and bottled water at all those wonderful Disney kiosks. That's the part that gets on my nerves. That's the part where I say, come on. There is a line. I know you're trying to make those investors feel fine, but there's a line, Disney.
We'll ride the rides and see the sights, conquer lines, face our frights. Oh, it's a happy holiday with you. Oh, it's a happy holiday with you. Yes, you. Oh, it's a happy holiday with you. Oh, it's a happy holiday with you. Yes, you. Purple potatoes, fried green tomatoes, arugula. Hey, what's up?
When injustice strikes, I strike back.
Culture Casino, let's go. Culture Casino, let's go. When the EMS tries their best, strap him down, check his chest. Culture Casino, Casino, Culture Casino, Casino. Culture Casino. Let's go, let's go. Culture Casino.
When injustice strikes, I strike back.
Flamethrower. Yes, yes, yes.
And he's here, ladies and gentlemen. Lend your ears and your eyes, if you're not driving, to the one, the only, the bearded legend. Culture Casino is here.
Well, gosh, I love that. That's a great introduction. And hi, everybody. Hey, MJ, Ron, and of course, Pro. I hope you guys are all having a great start to your week on this marvelous Monday.
Culture, I feel badly.
Monday.
Why do you feel badly?
I feel badly because StreamYard, I'm going to blame it on StreamYard this time. It's my fault, but I'll blame it on StreamYard. After we did the Lonely Walt clip, your clip was supposed to play.
Yeah.
And in between those two clips, there was about a half second of it going ahead and showing that you were here. And
Yeah, it did.
it blew all the enthusiasm. Everybody just knew Culture's here, and I feel badly.
Oh, I think we made up for it with the.
It's not okay, Culture. This is a professional show. I let you down, buddy. I let you down. I want to say I'm sorry.
Well, was I doing anything embarrassing when I was on screen?
You weren't picking your nose or anything. You're good.
Okay, all right.
I feel bad about myself.
I don't think that's fair. I tried the best I can.
That poor kid. He's got to be like 50 by now.
Hey,
Never living it down. Never living it down.
It's a little rough to be him, but I tell you what, he's been preserved. There's a lot of memes like that, like the little girl in the car seat one. She's like got to be like 35.
And the baby on the cover of Nirvana, he's like a grown man now.
He is. The little girl in the back seat, I think she's like 17, 18. Hey, Culture, I watched a video this weekend.
Yeah.
And I highly recommend it to people.
Yeah.
It's about, what would you say? Shelved gardening? Is that how we would?
Oh, yeah. And look, and I mentioned at the end of that you could
layers.
Yeah. You could actually tiered gardening. You could actually use existing bookshelves to do this.
Yeah, that's why it got stuck in my head.
Yeah.
Culture, you messed the audio up on that, though.
Oh, it was terribly bad. Yeah.
But then I discovered something.
Mm-hmm.
The music that you selected for that video was so calming, so tranquil.
Nap time.
Oh,
nap time.
Music to my ears, man. So now I know you got to have that behind you while we do the ASMR stuff with the circular saws and the patting of the soil and the singing to the plants.
Yeah, and my definite jibber jabber that runs through the whole video. I didn't realize how much I talked until I had silence. I was like, oh no, I have to totally voice this over. So
jib to the jab, as they say.
Hey,
video.
I had fun, and again, like I said, it's a great way to repurpose shelves, especially bookshelves that you would otherwise pitch. It's just really important that when you build around it, you use, like I said, an EPDM food safe pond liner or something similar that you can pick up for cheaply.
Watch this, Culture. I'll prove to you that I watched the video. You ready? Okay. Because, folks, I learned you use the pond liner because we want to control where the water goes.
Boom. Yeah, and you don't want your shelf to fall apart.
Well,
but look,
that also matters.
Commercial houses that grow microgreens, all they're just using baking trays on those baking shelves that you get for your kitchen.
I love that Ron doesn't know he's unmuted. What sort of grunts, groans, squeaks, and moans might we get out of Ron as he sits down with his? He muted! You figured it out! Oh darn, we were so close.
He was busy doing sit-ups, I think. So.
I was waiting to hear Ron in the background.
Out, yeah.
I was waiting for him to say, "Legs, don't fool me now."
One more.
All right.
2. No.
3. Captain Phantom Nerd, member for 26 months. $4.25 for water. That's theft.
Isn't it more? I think that's pretty cheap.
I don't know. I mean, what are you going to do?
A smart water can be almost $7. Guys.
Yeah, and I think the Aquafina, which is
hey, whoa! We don't talk about her.
No. The water.
No, we suffered. No, we suffered enough through the mermaid song. No more Aquafina.
Why, you can't open a splash mountain when that mountain ain't got no water.
No water.
No water. No water.
Or maybe it's Dasani, I think, at Disney. But regardless, that is spendy as well.
Dasani is not water. It's garbage. Sorry.
Garbage. Garbage, MJ. Pronounce it the correct way. Okay. It sounds more prestigious when you say garbage. Albertus Magnus for $1.99. Does Disney even want middle-class people anymore?
No.
Now they want the global elite, but the global elite are not showing up because of politics and the Iran thing. Snarky out there with the fudge door for 10. YouTube censorship. Can't say simple complaint references in chat. Stupid! Can't even do it with symbols anymore. Not doing yourself any favors. Snarky, thank you for putting up with our overlords. We deal with them too. Hopefully they'll get this thing figured out and fix it for you. We've got Juliet out there for 5, saying 14. Then goal. And then Juliet, did you mean to send 2 of these? You sent 2 goals. We can only reward you with 1 goal, but we're happy. Goal! That's right, folks. We'll play a Clipathon at the end of the show today, just for you. Snarky Distinct Nugget for 5. Epic gave me and family plenty of water free of charge. Understanding, August was stifling. Whoa! August in Florida is Satan's armpit. It is just unbearably hot, humid. It is. I don't even know how the lizards live. It's time to just go indoors and stay there, right? It's like in Alaska in the winter months. People just stay inside because what are you going to do? There's no sunshine. It's freezing cold. Opposite is true in Florida. Just stay inside in August. Don't dare venture out. If you drop an egg on the sidewalk, you know what's going to happen. Omelets. The first Dragon Queen for 2, trying to stay safe at the moment. Bad storms. Hugs for all.
Yeah, please stay safe. And I saw your weather warning. You're delaying your live stream to Wednesday. So I'm sorry, Dragon Queen.
That's right. And Dragon Queen, since you're out there, let me see if I've got an answer yet to your question you gave me the other day.
Oh.
I do not yet have an answer from Steve regarding the legacy. Is Ron back yet? Ron, what are you doing? What is that man? Is he trying to like finish a meal in between the
sit-ups? 7.
Ron, did you do sit-ups?
8.
No.
Ron, we heard you, Ron, in the background going.
Push-ups.
I loaded my laundry in.
I
was like,
Ron.
put bench press. He was.
What you all don't know is that Ron is actually doing every single show from atop his washer and dryer. He's got a stool up there.
Can you imagine?
He calls it the second floor.
The laundry room is my office, my second office. Yeah.
All right, folks, we're about to dive into this story, and it's a huge one out of Disney. Major document dump. You've come to the right place for this. Oh, Flora is answering Dragon Queen. The answer is yeah. Of course it's yeah. All right, folks, we're going to dive into this next story. Before we do, though, we want to say thank you for helping us hit that goal. We'll have the Clipathon at the end, but this one is for you.
There we go. One more for the top. Triple decker, just how you like it.
Wow, thanks, Mr. Walt.
You enjoy it.
We will.
And it did it again. Disney is back up to their old tricks, this time from Florida Politics by Gabrielle Rousson, who knows, but we're going on with it. This is the story that is taking over, I believe, trying to change the narrative for how badly Disney lost. And I think, frankly, this article is out there to try to trick AI into thinking that Disney pulled some sort of, I don't know, they pulled it to halfway. They got to 50%. They got to a draw with the state of Florida. It's just too bad we know better than that. The article says the untold story of Ron DeSantis versus Disney, and essentially it's going to present Disney as both the victim and the victor. It says, here are the revelations in the Disney-DeSantis battle from recently obtained court records. In a war against Governor Ron DeSantis, Disney fought fire with fire. It says Disney hired Holtzman Vogel, a powerhouse law firm that performed millions of dollars of work for the DeSantis administration to help Disney outmaneuver the state. Holtzman Vogel did not want anyone to know it was helping Disney for fear of DeSantis retribution. One Disney lawyer said under oath, that's just one revelation in court depositions recently obtained by Florida Politics, this website. So you can hear it say that what they start off with, the entire premise of the thing is that they outmaneuvered the state of Florida. And this article is impressively long. And all of it is in favor of Disney, essentially. All of it. And the reason I think this article exists, see, I don't think that Gabrielle Rousson just suddenly came up with this idea. I think that this is part of an effort to try to change the narrative around whether or not Disney lost big time versus Florida. There's just one problem, and it's me. Folks, I don't want to be Mr. Hubris here, but we've done a takedown of the article, and I want to read it to you because it's a bunch of nonsense. This is out of thatparkplace.com, website cited by, of course, the federal government in their investigations of Disney. We'll keep helping them out with that. It says Disney was both victim and victor in the battle of Florida and DeSantis. Bob Iger's spin is here again. Because I also wonder, given the timing of this article, is this something that Bob Iger helped put together? I don't know this. This is speculation on my part. But it's interesting to me that Disney has no interest in this continuing on. Disney has no interest in reframing this. So is this an Iger initiative? I don't know. But here's what it says. Companies know that stories matter, and perhaps no company knows it more than Disney. That's why a new report from Florida Politics presenting Disney as both victim of Florida Governor Ron DeSantis as well as victor over the state of Florida's attempts to stomp them out is worthy of extreme skepticism. One might consider that this is an attempt to stamp the official narrative on a story that looks far more like Disney having lost in almost every possible way. In fact, it's downright humiliating for Bob Iger and company. So what did Disney lose? Essentially, a nowhere else in the world self-governance system over 40 square miles of property, the ability to pay itself its own taxes through a bizarre quasi-city system explained later, and all the benefits one might imagine from having not only private control, but government control of multiple cities and resorts. The new article presents the Disney DeSantis battle as a story of a corporation reacting to a hostile state takeover, with Disney executives describing their concern that future Walt Disney World expansion could be jeopardized by a DeSantis-controlled board. The article includes valuable deposition material, but its framing deserves skepticism. It repeatedly cast Disney as the party being acted upon, while giving less weight to the fact that Disney was not a passive bystander. Reminder to everybody, Disney placed itself directly into Florida's political fight when it publicly pledged to help overturn the parental rights and education law. And of course, all of this was part of a mutiny attempt, I believe, to get Bob Iger back in and drive the stock down under Bob Chapek. We talk about that, of course. Well, but it says that matters because the Florida Politics article's moral framing leans heavily on the idea that the state of Florida was seeking revenge. But Disney was not merely issuing a vague statement about inclusion. It announced a corporate objective to defeat a duly enacted Florida statute. Whether one agrees with Disney or DeSantis, that is a major corporation entering the political arena. Once Disney used its brand power, lobbying influence, and nonprofit support network against the state law, it became much harder to argue that the company was simply an apolitical victim of government hostility. We go on in this article to unravel the Florida Politics article. For example, left unstated in the Florida Politics article, McGowan's insane strategy that involved twisting HOA bylaws into ironclad dictates that subjugated actual Florida and American property rights. It was ultimately dropped in the Disney settlement. And why? Because it almost certainly would have lost all the way up to the Supreme Court of the United States because it attempted to rewrite American property law. In other words, it was insane. Folks, I highly recommend you go read this if you really want to know what's been going on with Disney. I go through the numbers here, the hundreds of millions to billions of dollars that this cost the House of Mouse, because now those taxes, they don't collect them. I talk about the two tiny cities inside of Disney that ultimately was their downfall. Here's the bottom line, though. Disney did not merely speak out. It pledged corporate support for overturning the state law. Disney did not merely defend its future expansion. It worked with the outgoing Reedy Creek structure to lock in development rights before the new board arrived. Disney did not merely pay taxes like any other company. It paid taxes into a special district where for decades it essentially acted as the de facto special district, thus paying taxes into what was essentially itself. The best fact check is therefore not a simple pro-DeSantis or pro-Disney verdict. It is this. Disney was both a major taxpayer and the chief beneficiary of an unusually powerful self-governance structure. DeSantis was both politically motivated and correct that the old arrangement gave Disney privileges unavailable to ordinary businesses. And the tax question is more complicated than either side often admits. Disney will likely pay well over $1.7 billion in SIFTOD ad valorem taxes over the next decade, but much of that represents a continuation of district taxes Disney already paid. It's just too bad Disney won't control where the money goes any longer. All right, I want to go to culture first on this. Culture, we followed this in great detail, this fight between Florida and Disney. I know I just had to get through a lot to get to you, but we need to say they're trying to rewrite the narrative. This is so embarrassing, culture, because there is no rewriting it. Disney lost in every possible way. They lost self-governance. They lost control of the tax money that essentially went to pay themselves. They lost in the court of opinion. There's nothing they won on. So there's no way now to go back and say, well, Disney actually did. No. And the crazy stuff that they try to claim as a win, Disney gave up in the settlement because it would have lost all the way up to SCOTUS. Culture, your thoughts on all this?
Well, I mean, you kind of said it all. There's honestly, Disney can't save face. There's no safe saving face maneuver they can pull. This article and a couple others that I've seen today in other outlets really, outline how they're trying to recraft a narrative to make it seem like, Iger wasn't the central figure in the destruction of Disney World.
I think they're doing it for AI, culture. I think they want AI to view this as authoritative, and when people ask about this or they Google this, that pops up rather than our reporting. The problem is our reporting is correct. Culture, did Disney win in any way? Give them, play devil's advocate, play mouse's advocate for a minute. Is there anything they won on in this fight with Florida? Anything?
Well, I mean, they infested their corporation with their politics. That was a win.
They lost, and I can't think. Listen, I will give them their due. I never want to be 100 to 0. I never want to be binary. In this situation, they won nothing. There's nothing, culture.
It gave them another excuse for why we don't have new monorails or a rebuild or extension of the monorail.
Okay,
lines.
take the monorail for example.
Yeah.
Previously, Disney inspected the monorails on their own. They got to do that, no payment, whatever. Guess what? Now the state of Florida inspects the monorails, and Disney has to comply all the time with state inspections. Why? Because Disney doesn't self-govern anymore. So there's another example. Everywhere you look.
And the good news is they can say that they're upholding the state's minimum values in all of their future projects. Because they were clearing, they had their own comptroller, they were clearing their own plans, they were able to obfuscate what they had planned in the future. Now, just like Universal, those will be disclosed as they're made, as they process through the public sphere, which will include any fifth gate that they're going to green light or anything else that happens in the future. So they become a more transparent organization. That was the win.
Okay, let's talk about the transparency. Let's talk about it. Because, and anybody weigh in at any time on this, I just want to have a round table on it. So I saw a thing the other day, and I talked about it on X, where the claim was put out, Disney can now power all of their theme parks off solar panel farms they own.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The operative word there is can. And this is one of those things that came out because of all of this battle with Florida. We found out all of this. Those solar farms, unless something has changed since the last time we investigated this, and I don't think it has, those solar farms are not hooked up to theme parks. It's a bunch of nonsense. In fact, Disney just leases the land to, I believe it was Duke Energy?
Duke Energy for the giant Mickey head.
It's all just a joke. It's all a facade. None of it's real. It's smoke and mirrors all the way through. And they got exposed. They got exposed badly by this, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and look, and that's the only way that they can structure the writing, the pro Disney material that we're seeing. Although Disney's still green, they can do this. Well, when the sun's shining, they certainly could. Are they? Probably not. They have partnerships with another power company in another county that supposedly they can draw electricity from, but I don't even think that's feasible.
It's all fake. It's all fake. And by the way, Ron is sharing this with me. Folks, this is one of the two quote-unquote cities that Disney was running. Now they've been swallowed up by the Central Florida Tourism Oversight District. Look at this website, though. City of Lake Buena Vista. You know how many people there are that lived in this city? Last time we checked, it was about 24. About 24 people lived in it. But mayors and councils, city of 24 people, all of them in mobile homes provided by Disney. But you ready, folks? You ready for the smoke and mirrors? Let's scroll down. You ready? City of Lake Buena Vista, about us, city council. You got a city council for 24 people. That's amazing. Public records, assembly permits. There you go. That's the whole website. Public notices. There are no current public notices. For more information, the city council, press learn more. Yeah, we'll do it. So there you go, folks. This is it. They have stripped the whole sucker down because they were found out. The battle with Florida did not go well, Ron, because the whole thing was just nonsense.
No, I mean, Walt Disney World previously used to operate, I would say, with probably a greater degree of power than the Vatican. The Vatican,
no doubt.
The Vatican is kind of its own state within a state. Walt Disney World was basically a country within a country. It was in almost no oversight, which is why the word oversight was specifically chosen by DeSantis when SIFTOD was organized. Central Florida Tourism Oversight District, because Disney had zero before, and the way they were operating, and a lot of people loved it. A lot of people,
Ron,
said,
they had the ability.
Great.
They had the ability to build. They never did. They had the authority. This is the kind of government power they had. Disney World had the government authority. They were the government to build a nuclear power plant, to build an airport. Mm-hmm. They had this kind of power. The Vatican doesn't have this kind of power. Disney had it. Disney decided to play politics with kids, all in an effort to kick out Chapek and bring back Bob Iger. And honestly, we've had Andrew of Legal Mindset on before.
Yep.
He has assessed that, including inflation and going out 100 years, because we anticipate that Disney World will be there for 100 years, it's $1 trillion mistake because the taxes were being controlled and appropriated according to Disney. So Disney was paying taxes to a government entity that essentially was Disney. So Disney was paying taxes to Disney, which is to say they weren't paying. I won't go there. I won't say that. I won't go that far. Ron, give me your thoughts more on this. This is crazy to me. And then I'm going to go to MJ because she's an HOA expert. I cannot wait for her thoughts on this next part.
It was. I mean, so a lot of people may not understand the backstory. This all happened because Walt passed away. The Disney company used that symphony with the state of Florida back in the 1960s to organize this district, and basically they said, don't worry, we'll take care of everything. We'll put in the infrastructure, we'll put in the phone lines, we'll put in all the stuff in the state. You won't have to worry about that. And it seemed like a good deal at the time, but that it was never supposed to go on forever, right? And that's what happened. They just and then here's what happened. Of course, because there are politicians on both sides of the aisle, Disney was paying politicians in the state on both sides of the aisle just to keep it quiet for all those years. The Reedy Creek Improvement District just operated quietly, and pretty much Disney stayed out of politics in the mainstream sense. Money was going to it, but as far as the media was concerned, it was all hush hush. Under the table, if you will. And so then when everything blew up because of one particular bill that very few people that were very loud did not agree with,
which really, Ron, this was just the Trojan horse, because they wanted Chapek out. Right. So this was what they used to get rid of Chapek. I don't think they actually cared about it, but this is what they chose.
Right. And that was which was ridiculous. And it was maybe it was orchestrated by Iger, because I don't know that Chapek was ever really meant to stay, but allegedly, yeah. So, but yeah, the whole thing, I think Disney had utter confidence that they were going to win every bit of the lawsuits with DeSantis. And unfortunately they didn't have any ground to stand on. And of course, that's what I really, actually, that period of time when I was a cast member is when I really got into watching you and Valiant and Andrew of Legal Mindset. And I was glued, because I was a cast member, somewhat being affected by all this. And I'm like, this is crazy. I mean, I knew Disney was going to lose from the inside, and I'm like, this is not good.
And now they're trying to reframe it as if they did not. MJ, here's the craziest thing of all. At the very end, when Disney realized they were going to lose, and this article talks about it, folks, you can go read it over here on Florida Politics. We've got the answer to all this. You can go read that as well on That Park Place. At the end of the day, when Disney realized we're going to lose, Reedy Creek is going away. We're not going to be able to self-govern. At the 11th hour, what they tried to pull, which was crazy, is this lawyer that's talked about, Holtzman Vogel. They came up with the idea to try to lock in everything they wanted to do for the next 50 years under HOA laws, and then pretend that the new board under the new district would not be able to touch any of that because of HOA laws. This was the craziest Hail Mary we had ever seen. It would have redefined property rights. We mocked them because if they wanted to go all the way to the Supreme Court and lose, they could have. There is no way on God's green earth, because remember what we talked about? We said Disney had the power to build nuclear power plants. Disney had the power to build airports. MJ, they wanted at the end of the day to try to lock this legal team to lock that kind of stuff in with HOA agreements. And that lost. And Disney settled because this was a colossal failure. MJ, now they're trying to pretend, nope, that's not exactly what was happening. Disney was head to head, toe to toe with DeSantis. That's not the way it went. MJ, can HOAs invoke those kinds of rules? What are the limits for HOAs?
Actually, HOAs are really, really limited, and they just how do you say this without saying it harshly? They like to pretend they have all the power in the world, but they do
I
not.
have the power.
Exactly.
HOA.
Exactly. Nah, not at all. And unfortunately, a lot of homeowners that are in that bubble are they feel as if almost intimidated, right? Like I can't do anything. My HOA, my HOA. Well, Florida law takes precedence over that HOA. So your HOA, you have your rules and you have your regulations and you have your bylaws, and then you have your board of directors that govern and make sure that everyone's following the rules. But under circumstances and different situations, you can take your claim to the DBPR, and that will take over. That will go over whatever the HOA has written in black and white, and that's just the ugly truth that most people don't know about. So this whole thing about they were governing like it was an HOA. That was only going to be for so long, and then poof, it's gone. Florida took over, and that's typical because Florida will always, the state law will always take precedence over any HOA, whether it's at Disney World or anywhere in Florida. In Florida, the HOA laws are so strange. I've never seen anything like it before, and I'm just so
MJ,
glad.
what if I
11
told
years of
you?
my life is over?
What if I told you the strangeness of the HOA laws in Florida is actually what caused Disney to make these legal mistakes? Because Disney had a mix-up between their attorneys. Disney was using mostly California attorneys, but this person they're talking about, this Holtzman, was the person they were using in Florida. But the California attorneys didn't understand the HOA rules. They didn't understand the special district rules. The special district rules in Florida, unlike any other state you'll ever find, it's really bizarre, but it's been built up to make this tourism locale. And so somehow Disney thought they were going to be able to pull that at the 11th hour, and all it really did was put them in an even worse spot. And now they have nothing. Now they pay for all the taxes, go other places, and they're using this now as excuses. But Culture, I'll give you the final word on this. Investors had no idea the amount of money that was at stake and how badly Disney performed in this. This really was humiliating to the House of Mouse, right? Muted, Culture.
Terribly, terribly so. I mean, this really Disney's level of exposure was unknown to many investors in the company at that time. There's no wonder they went from a $200 value and as far as the stock went to where they are now, and they've stagnated. Stagnation is what happens when people when the actual value of something is barely maintained, and that's all that's happening now. And there were other scandals going on at the same time, besides the mouse's tax on people to pay the mouse. There was also the gift card scam and other things like that were revealed by a very brave well, I'm not going to say journalist.
Allegedly.
Very brave person, allegedly at the time, saying that there were not proper bookkeeping procedures being followed within the company. Gift cards would be issued and to people with no financial backing and no
Allegedly.
And again, this is something that happened for a very, very long time. And this is one of so many problems that existed at the time, Pro. I always feel like Disney's major advantage, and I think we're not inaccurate, and you specifically were not inaccurate when you said this was the $1 trillion mistake for Disney World. And I think that's
listen, it's not
Culture, you brought up something so important. Holy cow, because some of these HOAs have line items. I'm talking softly like no one can hear me. Everyone can still hear me.
Yeah.
Some of these HOAs have line items, and it's like, oh yeah, so this is for landscaping. This is for the pool maintenance. Yeah, and it doesn't get spent that way. And that's the problem. Corruption.
Yeah. Well, and again, I mean, and you hire companies that are not directly affiliated with the HOA or a member of the HOA's family or whatever, and the work is never performed, but the invoices get paid. And this is an example of fraud that's been happening a lot, especially in cities and states around the country that people are just now becoming aware of. And Disney was one of those entities, possibly. allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah. I'm being careful. You want me to keep saying allegedly anyway.
Bottom line, as we wrap this up, folks, the $1 trillion claim is not. It's not a crazy claim. All you have to do. What was a dollar worth 100 years ago versus what it is today?
Exactly.
Okay. You want a $1 trillion mistake by Disney? Go 90 years in the future. Figure out what inflation is there. Okay. Nobody knows for sure, but go 90 years in the future. Disney World's still going to be there, probably. Disney World still, in all likelihood, still going to be there, still going to be doing what it does. And all that time, it's not going to be a government that generates money for Disney any longer. The taxes go somewhere else. So you figure out, what's the cost of that in 90 years of inflation? $1 trillion? That's what Andrew of Legal Mindset says. But Disney trying to reset the narrative for the future on how badly they lost.
And so what we've tried to do is really bring that shape language from the architecture. But like what we love to talk about at WDI is shape language. And we often refer to shape language.
There's such iconic shape language in Spaceship River the attraction. We really wanted to make sure that we fused to that throughout the space.
And it's Super Chat time. Let's see what the superstars of the show have to say. First Dragon Queen for 2. When is it then? The Legacy. I need to prepare. Last I heard, we've had to delay it until next week. We do have the 400th episode of the Pro Show tonight. Folks, don't miss it. We also have, joining us Wednesday night, Gary of Nerdrotic will be on the show Wednesday night. So that's another big one. But next week, we're going to do the Legacy. We've got so many things this week that it just scheduling-wise didn't work, but the Legacy comes out first week of May, and we'll give Wilton his little legs. Very little legs. Archer Merchant for 5. They lost so much, it's embarrassing. It's probably coming out because they know that the Iger book is coming out. They picked a fight with the author too. You know, that's a great theory. I had not considered that perhaps this is preempting that book. Wouldn't it be funny if Chapek decided to tell all the stuff he wants to tell about that Florida situation? Wouldn't that be interesting? That would be interesting. I hope he does. Caveat ties for 5. If Disney thinks stories are so important, they need to get better writers.
Imagine that.
Okay. They just want to rewrite the stories you loved. All right, folks, we've got to say goodbye to one of our panelists. Ron is going to be heading on over to the Dish, where we have the wish that all of you will join him. Ron, what do you got covering today?
Oh, Michael. We're covering the box office, the weekend box office, and man, Michael dominated and kicked Mario out of first place, and so we'll be starting off with that and probably getting to a few other interesting things. So,
Ron, did you go see Michael?
I have not, but my wife is begging me, so I'm going to have to take her.
You got to go. You got to go. It's not. We're not here to tell you that it's a glorification of the singer. It's not. It's a biopic that looks at the pathologies of his household, of his father, the relationship there, and how do you get to this place where you've got a guy who is, on one hand, the greatest performer in the world and most famous person on earth, and on the other hand, at home and in his personal life, a completely and totally broken child of a man. How did you get there? It shows in the movie what went down, and it's amazing. And the actor deserves an Oscar and everything else. It's just incredible.
I got to see him. I went to a Michael concert when I was 16 and got to see all 3 hours of it. Was phenomenal. He was a phenomenal showman.
Yeah. You get any moonwalking while you were there, Ron?
Oh yeah. I mean, but it was all of the special effects and magic tricks and all kinds of stuff. I mean, there was one point where he like disappeared and then he's like flying over the audience, and it was pretty.
And a show was a show.
Yeah, man, he rocked it. So
there you go. You know, the best concert I have ever seen. Let me think about that. Culture, what's the best? Let me go to you. Culture, what's the best concert you've ever seen? Who's the best performer?
Wow, I've been to some incredible concerts, including a Paul McCartney stadium event.
Paul McCartney's almost.
It was phenomenal.
Paul McCartney is one of the best ever when it comes to live concerts.
One year I think I saw U2 6 times, but one of the most underrated concerts that I can recall was the Rolling Stones Danger Zone or whatever that was, that tour. I loved it so much because they rocked so hard they set the stage on fire.
That's cool.
That was pretty cool.
That is awesome.
Outside of that, like you said,
Hope nobody got hurt.
Yeah, no. And then for small venues, I would still say, Front 242 was probably one of the best concerts I've been to if you're into that kind of music. But
I'll give you a strange one.
Yeah.
So I went to a concert one time where the opening act was Kiss, and the second act was Aerosmith.
Oh
wow!
Kiss, and listen, everybody has a bad night. Kiss was awful. Kiss was absolutely awful. And then Aerosmith came on, and incredible. Gave it everything they had. It was amazing. It was just unbelievable. Kiss had that point when I saw them that it was no longer, it was just no longer impressive. It was kind of getting to that sad point. The other, I've got two other notable concerts that I'll throw at you. The first one is Little Richard. I saw Little Richard perform when he was in his 70s.
Wow.
And he had to have some help to get to the piano and that sort of thing. And he sat down and he said, Can you all believe Little Richard is 70, whatever years? He said, I can't believe it. And he said, I can't even remember where I am right now, the town, but I love you. And then he started to sing. And he had not lost it at all. He could not walk without some assistance, and some of the things. He's 70 years old. But when he sat down at the piano, he completely transformed. He could still hit the notes. I just, and it floored the whole audience so much, because the audience can't believe, we thought, have we been Willy Wonka'd? Like the man, put him at a piano and here he goes. The other one I'll give, and then I'd love to hear Ron and MJ's thoughts on it. The other concert that I saw that was amazing is one you would not think of. We referenced this guy quite a bit because of the UHF movie, but Weird Al. I saw Weird Al in concert 3 or 4 years ago, and it was one where he was playing his deep cuts, and his band, the guitarist, I can't remember the guitarist's name right now, but the lead guitarist had 8 different stringed instruments, and he played all of them at different points in the night. Banjo, acoustic guitar, electric guitar, oboe, everything. Played everything, and it was just unbelievable. Ron, MJ, your thoughts? What are your favorite concerts?
Oh, I have a hands down best concert: Billy Joel, Elton John Stadium.
Wow!
Together. I mean, it was.
Wow.
That was the
Elton
best
John.
concert that I have ever been to. I've seen Billy Joel in concert 4 times, but that was the only time it was Billy Joel and Elton John together. That was massive.
That's amazing.
And I've seen amazing shows. Herbie Hancock back in the day. It had an interesting experience with Janet Jackson when she unfortunately passed out after 4 songs and had to be rushed to the hospital in St. Louis. But I would say that Billy Joel and Michael Jackson definitely hands down best 2 concerts I've ever been to. But Elton John, Billy Joel, best concert ever.
I have heard from people that Huey Lewis was just phenomenal. Huey Lewis has not passed away; he just doesn't perform anymore. But
Wow.
Huey Lewis was insane in concert.
1986. Woo.
Yep. MJ, any favorite concerts for you?
I was a teenager when my mom, she used to work for Ticketmaster, and it was in Atlanta, Georgia. She took me to see Alanis Morissette. That's one of my favorite artists ever. That's my girl. And she went with me, and because, there's language, but Alanis she was just it for me. But as a daughter of a musician, we were traveling a lot. So I didn't get to go to many concerts. I always heard Dad play in whatever bands he was playing. And I met some pretty cool people. My uncle had a band, Santana Tribute. So I was always pretty much backstage listening to everybody just kind of do their thing. That was my
ironic.
childhood.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
All right, folks, we got to say goodbye to Ron, and we're moving right along. We got one more story. We'll send him to the dish in just a few. Ron, we wish you well and can't wait to listen in on what you have to say. All right, and then there were 3. Let's dive in, ladies and gentlemen, to the final story. It's the grand finale. Here we go.
I just can't wait for 3 days of you and me.
of WDWMagic.com, court records reveal Disney paused Magic Kingdom's biggest expansion. During its feud with DeSantis, leadership reached a general agreement to halt the project, which includes Villains Land, over uncertainty about wetland permit approvals from the new state-controlled board. This is the new spin, ladies and gentlemen, that Disney is using to try to pretend that it's DeSantis' fault that Villains Land will not be coming out anytime soon. And yes, did you think it was coming out soon? It's not. Here is the article. We'll read it to you. New court depositions obtained by the Florida politics reporter Gabrielle Rousson shed light on one of the most dramatic corporate government battles in recent state history. Now, you all know we have a retort to this report because we don't actually believe that it is presented in a fair light, obviously, and seems to be slighted deeply and dramatically towards Disney. Untruly, I would even say. Rousson's investigation into 700 pages of court records reveals Disney executives feared losing control of Walt Disney World's future, while a DeSantis-appointed board member reportedly thought he was part of a plan to remove the district entirely. Well, yeah, because they did. They removed the board and replaced it with SIFTOT. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we'll just keep on going. This is the defense that we've got right now about Villains Land not coming out when they thought it was going to be out. Culture, it's true in some respect, but not in any great respect. Disney did file a wetlands permit with the new board that now has new, governorship over it and make sure that Disney does things the right way. The problem was that when Disney filed that, they filed it either incorrectly or whatever happened. They didn't get it approved like they thought, and they did get delayed there. But that's because they destroyed the rivers of America with new plans to change the water and all this kind of stuff. And culture, the Disney, when they say that they were delayed in an expansion, and let me go back real quick. I want to show you the careful wording on this. In WDW Magic, let me read it again to you. The wording here matters so much. Court records reveal Disney paused Magic Kingdom's biggest expansion during its feud with DeSantis. Okay. Pause, folks, on that. Don't assume what the biggest expansion is. It's not Villains Land. It's not Rivers of America. Okay? It says leadership reached a general agreement to halt the project, which includes Villains Land, over uncertainty about the wetland permit approvals. What is it that they really stopped? What really stopped was the road project culture that goes by the Grand Floridian and all this kind of stuff. That's included in this project, and that had to stop because the funds dried up. It turned out that tax funds were going to fund some stuff, it appears, that was benefiting Disney in an unfair way. So they had to stop the road project. It has nothing to do with this other stuff except for the fact that Disney decided they were going to destroy a lot of water irrigation systems, and they were used to just doing whatever they wanted and not actually having to submit the approval process in the way that other companies do. Once they had to be held to the same kind of standard as other companies, suddenly they were stuck a little bit. Culture, what do you make of this idea, this excuse now that Villains Land coming in the 2030s? Well, that's because of Ron DeSantis. It's not us. It's not our fault that this is taking so long. What do you make of it?
Like I said, I mean, it's not. Imagine Disney not like paying attention to conservation like zones and not understanding that the reason that their engineers came up with the canal system that exists there in the first place was to control the water and the wetlands that were around him. I think a lot of stories that are going to be offered up on this are going to be inaccurate. They're trying to also tie it to the Beyond Big Thunder expansion that's been going on for a while, which is why you're going to get delayed to 2030, 2031 at the earliest. They also have stated in a different way that the other reason that it's being paused is because they're going to revisit Villains Land to be more wow factor, more immersive, more just better than they'd originally imagined it to be with the Imagineers. I mean, there's always going to be a problem, and with SIFTOD, they're going to have more trouble to deal with. We talked about that in a previous segment, but I have a feeling that going forward, Disney's gait or their speed with which they accomplish things is going to be dramatically slowed versus what they were able to get away with before.
Well, let's have fun with how they're handling this. Here's the paragraphs we need. It says, at the height of the feud, which Disney lost completely, totally from top to bottom, Disney's top leadership, including Walt Disney World Resort President Jeff Vale, who knows, everybody pronounces it differently, reached a general agreement to pause the biggest expansion in Magic Kingdom's history, Florida Politics reports. Now, folks, what is the expansion? The expansion is all of that road work that actually did get paused. All of that road work, not theme park work. The reason? Uncertainty over whether the new DeSantis-controlled board would approve the wetland mitigation credits Disney needed to move forward. Yes, because you actually had to, once you can't govern yourself anymore, you actually have to get approval from the government before you start moving water and canals and all that kind of stuff. According to depositions obtained by Florida Politics, Master Planning Executive Tom Rimmer testified, when we're looking at billions of dollars of investment, we want to be certain that we can proceed. The expansion, which includes Villains Land, a new attraction, was not publicly announced until August 2024. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to paint the picture that this is the expansion that was paused, when in fact, it hadn't even been announced yet. It wasn't even they weren't even doing that yet. That didn't get paused, folks. The road work got paused. But MJ, I believe this is preemptive defense that Disney's putting out, because they know that Epic Universe is building expansions already and all of this kind of stuff. And it's going to be years and years and years before Villains Land happens. We saw that Tron took 5 or 6 years. Guardians took that same kind of length. Disney just moves so slowly. And we've got a very long time before they have any answer to Epic. And Epic may have answers to them before the answer comes from Disney.
Yeah, they really, really, really held on tight on this one. They could have totally done this like 5 years ago. I don't see why not. During the pandemic probably would have been a great time to start. Things were closed and they could have, had structure in place with their construction workers and have a few doing this and a few doing that, get a jump start. Because let's face it, the permits for Epic were filed back when, 2021, 2020, probably. So yeah, I mean, they knew it was coming. I just think that they held on tight way too long. I don't see Villains Land coming until 2030.
I don't think people are excited about it.
And no one's excited about it. It's going to be
It's smaller than Dark Universe.
Villains Grove over at Oogie Boogie Bash.
Yeah.
It's gonna have that vibe. I'm telling you, you can throw tomatoes at me. It's the truth.
Hey, Culture. Didn't former Imagineer, and unfortunately he just passed away, but Eddie Sato, didn't he produce a plan that you didn't have to get any approval from the state of Florida because you didn't have to move the waterways? Didn't he show how you could have all this without doing that? And didn't somebody, a famous YouTuber in our space, not me this time, but didn't someone out there post about how Disney was given the two options and they chose to go with the option that would destroy all the water? And don't we have the timelines for all of that so that we kind of know that they're obfuscating the expansion inside the park with the expansion outside the park to defend the fact that the expansion inside the park is going so slowly, and they're going to pretend it's DeSantis' problem? Culture, is not all of that true?
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, and I think we could probably go back and reconstruct this exactly the way it was. There are many stories out there that break down exactly the paths that they chose to take. And, the fact that they could have done this themselves if they still had the governance there, do the water swaps and everything else to satisfy the law for the conservation and everything else. So, and again, this all comes down to a roadway expansion more than it does anything else. It doesn't. You didn't have to affect any of the backstage areas or the park in a way that would be detrimental to an expansion. So this is, I think, all tied to the World Drive Phase 3.
Yep.
And that's it. So
yep. And so, but they're trying to find a way to say it's not our fault. And what does it mean when they start down this path of it's not our fault? It means they know somebody's at fault and people are not going to be happy. People are not going to be happy when they realize how long it's going to take to get these expansions done. And there's not much to them anyway.
And the decision was made in 2024.
Yep.
Yeah. So
yep. Even before we're into the stuff we're talking about. But
before
the
it was even
websites
announced.
The websites are happy to run with it. They don't do their research. Do you think that they will go to that park place now where we have the full-on factual rebuttal to what Florida Politics is saying? Do you think that places like WDW Magic or WDWNT will actually go and report on what we have to say, showing that this is a bunch of nonsense? No. Why? Because it's in their best interest to try to paint Ron DeSantis and Florida as the bad guys and to say, well, Disney, they were just defending themselves from you mean, awful, terrible rubes. and your don't say law.
That's a good point.
Problem? It's all untrue. Ladies and gentlemen, we got 3 super chats, and then we'll get to the Clipathon. Hang on. Here we go. Archer Merchant for 2. No one is asking for a dirt track ride. Well, that's good because it's going to be blazing hot concrete that looks like dirt. So don't worry. Don't worry. No dirt. No dirt. We said no dirt. The whole thing was silly when they posted the video about the dirt. Bruce Newhouse for $4.99. As Disney takes longer and longer to do the smallest project, my respect for Universal design and construction goes higher and higher. As it has been said to us by high-level context in the past, Disney is a storytelling company. Universal is a construction company. That's the difference when it comes to the theme parks. Archer Merchant for 2. Meanwhile, former Imagineers killing it at Epic Universe and getting ready to do even more. Boy, I can't wait for that nighttime show. All right, MJ, we're going to go to the Clipathon. Tell the folks out there where they can find you.
Yes, I'm so sorry. I wish I could stay longer, but duty calls, mommy calls, right? It's not a, how do you call this? A tough life to be a bug? No, it's a tough life to be a mom nowadays. My gosh. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. Love you so much. Everyone in the audience, love you guys too. Superstars, Pro and Culture. It's been a pleasure. Ron, if you're out there listening, it was awesome hanging out with you as well. And I will catch you guys later.
We will talk with you soon, MJ.
Thank you, MJ.
Thank you.
All right, and Culture, tell the folks out there we've bragged about that garden place, but I don't want to miss out on Culture Casino. Tell the folks out there what you got going on the main channel.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's Monday, so I almost always drop a box office video. That was first thing this morning, so you can follow up on that, find out that Michael beat everybody's expectations. And the fact that the critics are so out of touch is never been more revealed than what we encountered with this Michael film. Unbelievable. And let's see, I've at least one video releasing every day this week during the weekdays. So if you're looking for something on the weekends, that garden place usually drops a video on Saturday, and I have like 7 shorts to put together from the various recipes, from preparing pinto beans and Cuban beans to well, I think I've already released the refried beans one, but we're going to have homemade salsa and hot sauce. There's a lot of things that I'm going to do over there. So do check out the 2 channels, Culture Casino, the main channel, and that garden place.
And Culture, what do you think is going to happen with the Michael movie now? Valiant's predicting it gets to $800 million. I think at least $700. It's going to make $200 million in profit. Do you think we get a sequel to it or no?
We already have a greenlit sequel. Excuse me. Yeah, we have a green light. So I think you're not only going to get a sequel, I think it's going to be done toot sweet. I think Lionsgate has a rare winner on its hands.
How do they do it though, Culture? Because the sequel is going to be.
They don't touch any of the controversy. No, they don't.
Really?
They don't touch any of the controversy. They just
gonna feel inauthentic if they don't touch it at all.
They can't. It's actually with the one settlement that was made that it could never be done. That's why they had to do last minute reshoots prior to the film coming out, which cost them millions. But most of that was paid, I believe, by the Jackson estate.
Makes sense to me. All right, folks, we got to get out of here. We got to send you to Ron over at the Dish. But before we do, it's your wish come true. We're going to play a Clipathon. Folks, don't miss out on the pro show tonight, 400th episode. And then Wednesday night, we've got Gary of Nerdrotic joining as a very special guest. Folks, you're the guest truly, though. You're the superstars. Here's the Clipathon for you.
A giant warehouse of spatulas for every occasion. Thousands to choose from in every shape, size, and color. And because we eliminate the middleman, we can sell all our spatulas factory direct to you. Where do you go when you want to buy name brand spatulas at a fraction of retail cost? Spatula City! Spatula City! And this weekend only, take advantage of our special liquidation sale.
I like their spatulas so much, I bought the company.
Spatula City, 7 locations. We're in the yellow pages under Spatula.
Oh, God!
Why do you have that many Bidoofs in one bowl?
I was out of Pokeballs. We need to get these guys to a Poke Center right away. Why? What would that do? So we can heal them? You can heal Pokemon? Oh, wow, I've just been throwing them away.
You are a dumb monster.
It's a Super Spring Spritz. Pedro's big year has Disney dropping. It's a Super Spring Spritz.
2035, and it's time for the grand opening of a long-awaited Villains expansion.
Here we are in the first attraction, a grown-ups only establishment where you can get sloshed with Ursula. And guess what? Here we are again, back at another bar. Have you ever wanted to booze it up with little green men?
Excuse me, are there any rides here, or is this all just bars?
Oh, there's tons more here beyond alcohol.
When the hate and the shills stole your thrills, then took away your fun. Heroes gone, the stories rocked, and movies turned to mud. But don't give up the battle, 'cause there's a man right by your side. He's winning versus walkies every day. Marvin Montanaro,